excited! I have been looking forward to this ever since I first heard of it. Over the Garden Wall is a horror, fantasy, comedy, mystery miniseries on Cartoon Network that looks like a Ghibli-like a hybrid in the age and tone of Watership Down, with character designs from regular show mixed with Adventure Time and Gravity Falls. That is the coolest collection of words that I have ever said! It's made up of 10 episodes, each around 11 minutes, airing 2 at a time on the week of November 3rd to November 7th. And after having seen the first 2 episodes, I can tell you that it is beautiful, it is atmospheric, it is fun, it is creepy, and it's so mysterious that I'm not even completely sure what it's about. It stars 2 brothers who are human? Who get lost in a forest called the Unknown. I think. There's an opening monologue that talks about a place called the Unknown, a place of long-forgotten stories, but it's unclear whether that's specifically the forest or a foreshadowed place that the brothers are headed towards. I guess because while walking through the forest, they're encountering all of these strange and frequently terrifying mini-stories, that the Unknown is in fact the place they're currently in. So basically, it's Alice in Wonderland in your backyard. First of all, you gotta admire the look of this place. The series seems to inhabit the tone of grim fairy tales and old children's stories in the same way that Gravity Falls feels like being inside an urban legend. And this definitely feels like a spiritual cousin to Gravity Falls. Not just in the northwesty look, but in the where did all this crazy come from mystery that surrounds the show, complete with fast-talking sarcastic dialogue that keeps it from getting too scary and too atmospheric. Yeah, not entirely surprising that the original concept for this series was much darker. Seriously, I'm surprised the bulk of older Disney films aren't outlawed. But that being said, I'm still impressed with how creepy this series still manages to be. There is some legit nightmare fuel in here. Like, I dare you to watch the first episode in the dark. And naturally, the entire concept of the unknown and the brothers being lost keeps an ominous tone over the series even when nothing directly strange is happening, complete with its old-fashioned 1930s lounge music and Evil Dead forest background. I also like the way the series seems to embody the spirit of autumn so intensely. It's like a hybrid of a Halloween and a Thanksgiving special, especially considering the second episode with the undead pumpkin people, which you have to watch that episode to get what that means. Let's just say the conclusion is both funny and kinda disturbing, which definitely seems to be a theme for this show. Now, here's the only thing. I get that all these occurrences are supposed to be strange, but I'm not entirely sure how strange. The episodic opening is a series of random images, a mix of humans, animals doing human stuff, the creepy, and the seemingly normal. It certainly establishes an eerie tone, but I'm not sure what that says for the world of the series. Are these images from this world's version of normal? Are these images from the unknown? Are they of both and I'm not supposed to know that? Is it foreshadowing? I don't know! And on that note, while they're probably supposed to be, I can't shake the feeling that these brothers aren't human. I keep feeling like they're supposed to be gnomes or something, but let's face it, that's probably because of Elijah Wood's hat. But they also seem to be smaller than regular humans. They seem like the size of elves when compared to the woodcutter. And then, about the brothers. While properly serving as our audience surrogate explorers of the unknown, they're actually not the most likable of characters by themselves. The younger brother, Greg, is a beacon of childhood curiosity, optimism, and innocence, never scared and never worried. So he is no child that has ever lived ever. His job in the story is to say cute, random child things, so he's basically Pinkie Pie. But his go-with-the-flow attitude was probably necessary to balance out against the older brother, Wirt, voiced by Elijah Wood, who is continuously anxious about potential danger and in complete denial whenever he confronts anything actually strange. He's our ultra-logical sarcastic, trying to disprove the unnatural with facts. Oddly like Dipper, but the opposite. And if Dipper was kind of an ass, as he comes off very self-involved in treating his brother more like a nuisance. He also randomly breaks out into poetic monologues. Is that a hobby, or is that a reflex when going into panic attacks? Then they meet up with a thankfully level-headed talking bird named Beatrice, which at least the show establishes is not supposed to be a normal thing. But while these three come off as a group of begrudged, bickering acquaintances, it does make for an interesting dynamic. They're not your usual types of protagonists, and I was really amused by their interactions. In the end, the highlight of the series really is the world they've created. I love the old-fashioned folky aesthetic, like if Wes Anderson did a horror movie. Its episodic stories are creative, and it has wonderful high-quality animation. And even though I'm not entirely sure what's going on or where we're headed, I kinda like that. It really feels like we're exploring this world, like Wonderland. I'll do another recap when the miniseries concludes, but all I can say right now is I'm really looking forward to this. And Cartoon Network, please do more experimental miniseries like this.
Long bygone burdens, mere echoes of the spring. But where have we come, and where shall we end?